1. Screwdriver and scissor are called A. Simple machines, B. Cutters, C. Lifters, D. Complex machine. 2. Lifting a box is A. Stretching, B. Twisting, C. Pushing, D. Pulling. 3. Degree of hotness and coldness of a body is called A. Status, B. Form, C. Creature, D. Temperature. 4. Which is good conductor of heat? A. Paper, B. Cloth, C. Air, D. Aluminium. 5. Metals are the best. A. Insulator of heat, B. Conductor of heat, C. Conductor of light, D. Insulator of electricity. 6. Liquid thing in thermometer is called A. Acid, B. Water, C. Mercury, D. None of the above. 7. Freezing point of water is A. 0 degrees Celsius, B. -2 degrees Celsius, C. -4 degrees Celsius, D. None of above. 8. Thermometer is an instrument used for measuring A. Temperature, B. Heat, C. Speed, D. Sound. 9. Temperature of any area depends on A. Climate, B. Longitude, C. Latitude, D. None of the above. 10. Method used for separation of insoluble solids from mixture. A. Decantation, B. Determination, C. Clination, D. All of the above. 11. Particles of matter have following characteristics. A. They constantly move, B. They attract each other, C. They are very small, D. All of the above. 12. Substance having fixed volume but no fixed shape. A. Solid, B. Liquid, C. Gas, D. All of the above. 13. Which one is dissolving in water? A. Sand, B. Salt, C. Stone, D. All of the above. 14. Which of the following is liquid? A. Hydrogen, B. Helium, C. Water, D. Sui gas. 15. Substance which has no fixed shape and fixed volume. A. Solid, B. Liquid, C. Gas, D. All of the above. 16. Filtration is used to separate insoluble solid from A. Solid, B. Gas, C. Liquid, D. None of the above. 17. Dolphin is A. Amphibian, B. Mammal, C. Animal, D. Reptile. 18. Relationship between two population that benefits both in called A. Mutualism, B. Predation, C. Parasitism, D. Mechanism. 19. Which is abiotic in nature? A. Sunlight, B. Precipitation, C. Minerals, D. All of the above. 20. In which environment animals have thick skin? A. Water, B. Air, C. Land, D. All of the above. 21. Crow is a Carnivores, B. Herbivores, C. Omnivores, D. Decomposer. 22. Fungi are an example of A. Produces, B. Consumers, C. Decomposes, D. None of the above. 23. Boat-shaped body of the fish helps them in A. Respiration, B. Movement, C. Nutrition, D. Reproduction. 24. Retinol is the scientific name of which vitamin? A. Vitamin A, B. Vitamin B, C. Vitamin C, D. Vitamin D. 25. If we eat equal amount of proteins, fats, carbohydrates and vitamins, which one will provide more energy to the body? A. Fats, B. Proteins, C. Carbohydrates, D. Vitamins. 26. Healing of wounds helped by A. Fats, B. Proteins, C. Vitamins, D. Salt. 27. Which food provides instant energy to the body? A. Fats B. Proteins C. Carbohydrates D. Vitamins 28. Amphibians live in A. Water B. Land C. Both water and land D. Air 29. Frog falls under the classification A. Reptile B. Amphibians C. Fish D. Mammals 30. Final stage tail becomes smaller and finally disappears and frog enters there. A. Adult stage B. Egg C. Adult D. Baby 31. Eggs float on water in a jelly mass and the jelly is called A. Adult B. Spawn C. Larva D. Eggs 32. Pupa in transformed into A. Larva B. Eggs C. Adult D. Spawn 33. Human baby is similar to human. This property is called A. Locomotion B. Reproduction C. Heredity D. Growth 34. Seed in transformed into a plant by the process of A. Reproduction B. Growth C. Movement D. Nutrition 35. During seed germination seed coat ruptures due to A. Differentiation of cotyledon B. Sudden increase in call division C. Massive imbibition of water D. None of the above 36. Gas required for germination of pea seed is A. Nitrogen B. Oxygen C. Helium D. Hydrogen 37. Seeds develop from A. Ovary B. Ovule C. Embryo D. Embryo sac 38. Outer seed coat is A. Tester B. Hilum C. Tegmen D. Function 39. Plants prepare their own food in the presence of A. Sand B. Earth C. Sunlight D. Oxygen 40. Some animals lay eggs while some produce A. Babies B. Adults C. Seeds D. All of the above 41. Which organ pumps the blood to the body? A. Brain B. Heart C. Muscles D. Lungs 42. Which organ protect us from infection? A. Hair B. Muscles C. Skin D. Blood 43. A child may get rash if he A. Doesn't bathe regularly B. Eats stale food C. Eat too much D. None of the above 44. Which organ in the control center of the body? A. Heart B. Muscles C. Brain D. Stomach 45. To make our muscles and bones strong we should A. Eat less food B. Exercise C. Use more salt D. Drink more water 46. Lungs are important because they A. Contract and expand B. Absorb oxygen C. Release carbon dioxide D. None of the above.